The year was 1959. Major news stories included Fidel Castro comes to power in Cuba after a revolution. The Barbie doll is launched. Alaska becomes the 49th state, and Hawaii becomes our 50th state. The St. Lawrence Seaway is completed. The U.S. launches its first weather satellite into space. The yearly inflation rate was 1.01%. The average cost of a new house in 1959 was $12,400. Average yearly wages were $5,010. A gallon of gasoline was 25 cents. Average cost of a new car was $2,200. A movie ticket would set you back $1, and a loaf of bread cost 20 cents. A Kodak movie camera was $67.50. Ladies' stockings were $1. Dwight D. Eisenhower was president. In 1959, the unemployment problems eased to 5.5%. Television programs included Rawhide, Bonanza, and introduced The Twilight Zone. Movies of that year included Some Like It Hot, Being Heard, and North by Northwest. In May of 1959, two monkeys, Abel and Baker, were launched into space from Cape Canaveral by the U.S. Army on a Jupiter AIM-18 rocket. They reached an altitude of about 360 miles, and their flight lasted about 15 minutes. They successfully returned to Earth, splashing down about 1,500 miles away from the launch site near Puerto Rico in the Atlantic Ocean, and were recovered. During April of 1959, NASA introduces the first group of astronauts known as the Mercury 7. The astronauts were Alan Shepard, John Glenn, Wally Schirra, Donald Slayton, Gus Grissom, Gordon Cooper, and Scott Carpenter. In 1959, the U.S. Grammy Music Awards started. The last musical from Rodgers and Hammerstein, The Sound of Music, opens on Broadway. A chartered plane transporting musicians Buddy Holly, Ritchie Valens, and the Big Bopper goes down in an Iowa snowstorm, killing all 4 occupants on board. The tragedy was later termed The Day the Music Died, popularized by Don McLean's song American Pie. Popular singers of the day were Doris Day, Frank Sinatra, Connie Francis, Jim Reeves, Cliff Richards, and Ella Fitzgerald. Bonanza premieres on NBC, the first weekly television series broadcast completely in color. Also premiering that year was the Huckleberry Hound Show. The Boeing 707 came into service that year, cutting 8 hours from transatlantic flight. Qantas Airline introduces the 707 on its Sydney-San Francisco route, making it the first trans-Pacific service flown by jet. Inventions that year included the microchip, the Etch-a-Sketch, and the computer modem, although it would not be available commercially until 1962. I hope you've enjoyed this look back on 1959 and one of the very special cars that was built that year. Thank you for watching.